Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of pumpkin making for the first week of fall. Today we are going to be making sweater pumpkins made from Dollar Tree pumpkins and sweaters that you pick up at Goodwill or some that are maybe too small in your closet, and just some flowers that you would have in your craft room laying around, or something that you can find at Goodwill, maybe even off some former pumpkins from fall, outdated pumpkins or something like that. So let's go ahead and get started. On the dollar store pumpkins, they come with this. This is all one single piece of styrofoam, and then it usually just has this little foam stem in the top of it. Just pull that out, take the tag off of it, and then you can use an X-Acto knife or a steak knife and cut out you really only need one side cut out. And I noticed if you use a thicker sweater, on this one I found a really heavy knit green sweater that I really liked, and it needs a larger hole to be able to tuck everything down inside of that one. So you just go ahead and get your pumpkin, take everything off of it, and cut a hole out of one side of it. Now on this dollar store pumpkin, it doesn't actually, it's not hollow on the inside, so I just had to cut out as far down as I could that I thought I could stuff stuff into that. And I just did a live video a little bit ago with these, and I realized that I cut out a circle of sweater to put on this, and it didn't tuck in very well. When I got all of that put around to the top, it was super bunchy on the top, and I didn't love it. So I thought it might be a little more fun on this one to cut strips of sweater out, and then we'll go ahead and hot glue those on and see how that looks. I will show you guys first on this other sweater. I found this one at Goodwill, and just keep an eye out. When Goodwill sells stuff, they do it by tag colors, and once in a while the blue tags, they'll do a half-off sale on it. And when they do that, you can get a sweater for just a couple dollars. Another nice thing about some of the sweaters is they've got adorable buttons and pockets and things that you can cut off and save for later. I loved this sweater, but we went ahead and I cut the back out of this one because it had that nice rib in it, and I really liked that for the look of a pumpkin. So we went ahead and cut the back out of that sweater into a circle. And then we will just wrap this pumpkin just like we did with the toilet paper pumpkins the other day. There's not a whole lot to it. Once you get that all cut out, you just tuck this in. Even just to buy a couple of them this size and go this route, it's super simple. Just takes a few minutes to get it put together. Tuck it in like that, and then grab your stick from out back and a couple leaves, if you can pull those off of something. A little spray of color there also. Tuck those down in. You can glue them if you want them to stay in a little bit better, or if you can get them tucked in there nice and tight. That's all there is to it, guys. That's a super simple one. Love the way that one looks when it's done too. I haven't tried this one where we're gonna cut a bunch of strips of sweater, but we'll try it together. So we'll just get our hot glue gun out. Make sure you have it on a higher heat setting, just because with this much material, you're gonna wanna be able to get it to stick down nicely, and if it's too low, it won't. It'll just dry before the sweater can stick down to the pumpkin. So we'll take our pumpkin. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the back of this one also. We have that side cut out, but we'll cut out the back of this one also, so we could tuck it in on both sides. And you won't see the bottom of this pumpkin once you get it set up on a shelf or wherever you're setting it out. too much to it. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and pick, on this one I love the way I might turn this light just a little bit different so you can see this better. There we go. Hopefully that shows up just a little bit better. I love the way the sweater has two different patterns on it. So we're going to alternate. We're going to put one on first and then switch it up and put the other pattern on the next time. And I think actually with this sweater and these cuts, I might be able to cut these pieces in half, and we'll use a little less sweater that way and save it for some other pumpkins. Or another project. Christmas is coming up, so we'll have a lot to do with extra fabric for Christmas. So just go ahead and put your glue right on the pumpkin and lay your strip of sweater down on there and press that in nice. And then I want to try to overlap on the sweater and also on the pumpkin, so our next piece is going to stick to both sides. And that one was the front of this sweater, so on this one we're going to use the back of the sweater and get those ridges to show on that one. Maybe pull it a little bit tighter too so it fits in that crack nicely. As you can see, styrofoam and hot glue don't always go so well together. Sometimes it'll melt your styrofoam. If that's the case, then I'd probably recommend just using an entire piece of sweater and not trying to hot glue on that foam. There again, make sure you have the right side and just tuck this one in. And again, on this one, we're going to pull it a little bit tighter so it fits in that ridge nicely. And the edges on it, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I kind of like that it frays and sits up there. Gives it just a little bit more texture. We'll cut a couple more of these strips. For anybody that's joining us, like I said, we're just taking some old sweaters that we got at Goodwill and cutting this sweater into a bunch of little strips so we can glue these strips onto this pumpkin. And it's a Dollar Tree pumpkin, so I got it for $1 at the dollar store. We cut out the top and we cut out the bottom. And then we're just using our glue gun. If you notice, this is my very used glue gun. We have a metal shop and do metal work, and some of our packaging is done with this glue gun, and of course all of my crafts are done with a glue gun, so it's very used. And the reason it has the stuff all over the side is because I always try to find a piece of cardboard and then I lay a lot of times I'm in a hurry or whatever I'm working on, I just lay it down on the cardboard and it sticks to my glue gun, so that's why it's so pretty. If you get this to where some of them are coming up on the top, just go ahead and glue right back over top of that and pull it down nice and tight. It looks like actually on a thinner sweater like this, you could use a low temp glue gun. So if you want to have the kids do this with you, I think a low temp glue gun actually would work okay if you find the right sweater and the right pumpkin. It'd actually be a really fun one to use one of your kids' sweaters that they outgrew and they could make a pumpkin out of it and then set it out each year. That would be really fun. And that's kind of all there is to that one. We'll just keep going all the way around. It's simple, but I actually like it a lot better than wrapping the entire thing in a piece of fabric, because it works itself into those curves better. Okay, gives it a little more texture. I've got to cut just a few more pieces of fabric. I'm running short on it. For this one I just went with 2 ridges, so I left 2 ridges and went down the middle of the next one. Depending on the size of your pumpkin, if you have a bigger pumpkin, just cut a little bit wider strips and then you can lay those on a bigger pumpkin. It's Wednesday today. Hope you guys are enjoying the day. The storms have stopped here finally. We had quite a few storms last night, but today seems to be okay. I wouldn't say the sun is out yet, but at least it's a little bit nicer than the thunder and lightning. How am I not burning my finger on the glue gun? That is a very good question, Amy. I think that they should actually invent gloves for this. And probably why most people are smart and use a low temp glue gun so they don't get sore fingers. That's a very good question, though. Actually, one of the tips is if you hold it up above where you didn't put the glue on, and then lay the piece of fabric over the glue and hold it there, then you're really just kind of quickly pressing down in between where the glue is. So keep your fingers from getting burned too badly. We would love it if you guys try this, that you share some of your pictures that you've tried it at home too. It's an easy project. Actually, all of them this week are going to be really simple projects and something that you can do with the kids or just do in your free time. Art therapy, I prefer to call it. I like shopping therapy too, retail therapy, but that doesn't seem to be very good for the pocketbook, so crafting is a little bit more fun, or at least cheaper. pumpkin, we'll just cut our ends off at the bottom. This won't matter too much because that's going to go underneath the pumpkin when you set it down. I did just about catch my finger there. You just about got me. And then anywhere on the top where you see those pieces sticking, if they're too low, they're not quite covering, just pull them up and add a little bit more glue underneath and press it down. Right here too, I've got a little bit more green than I probably want to expose, so I'll add just a little more glue there. Nothing a little hot glue gun can't fix. There you go. There we have it. There is our pumpkin, and then you guys, we can add a bow, or it is nice foam down in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my stick all the way down in there. And then we'll see about adding a green leaf to this one. Yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. Not too much to it. You can add the leaves, or you can add the bows, or pretty much anything else you can find. That's the fun part about pumpkins this year, is I've just pulled the stick out of the top of this one and I'm just putting it back together. The fun part about pumpkins this year is you can pretty much put them together with whatever you have, and as long as they match what you're decorating with, they look pretty cute on a shelf. I'm gonna add a little bit more green to this one. And there you go. There's your pumpkins. That's it. Super easy. All it takes is just some Dollar Tree pumpkins and a few leaves that you have laying around, or you can use burlap for ribbon or add ribbons to it, or put a little bit more of your sweater on the end for the leaves. Whatever you can find, just go ahead and hot glue it on the pumpkin, and there you go. Thanks guys for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to paint some pumpkins. Have a great day.